not going to hope for anything like that. I wish them the absolute best, but I know this is not going to serve me if I want a healthy, happy relationship. And try and remove that negativity and replace it with a vision, a clear vision of where you see yourself in the future. And where you see yourself in the future should involve complete understanding of what caused this relationship to be so destructive. Did they not reply much? Did they kind of want too much independence? Were they too clingy? Whatever it was, make sure you understand that fully and try and repair before you just dive into a new relationship with somebody who just has one quality the old one didn't. So don't use another human being as a numbing cream to help you, but try and reflect on their qualities and really keep that vision in mind.
Would you say that the biggest thing to discern whether or not it's worth either investing or leaving is somebody's willingness to go on that journey with you?
Yeah, people's willingness to compromise. I think that's the main thing. Look, everybody has problems. I mean, myself, my husband,
It's
we all,
inevitable.
it's inevitable. But the key is when you express a need, is it met with, okay, I'm going to try, or is it met with, why should I? Go fix yourself. Go, you need therapy. If it's met with that hostility, that person's not going to change. They're simply not going to change. And other times it's met with, here's the key. Some people are really manipulative. They'll say, no, I don't want to change it. But then when you go to leave them, they'll cry and say, I promise I'm going to change. I promise I'm going to change. Look at their behaviors, not their words. Yeah. So if, for example, I express a need to my partner, forget what he says in response to it. But if I see his behavior's gotten a bit better, I see that he's trying his best. It's not going to be perfect, but he's trying his best. He's worth committing to. But if I see somebody whose behavior has never changed, I always find them doing the same thing and then begging, saying that they're going to change. Well, it's their behavior you use as a indicator of whether or not it's worth staying and fighting for or not.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you think having attraction to other people while you're in partnership is a normal thing and natural thing?
I'm curious. Look, I'm a unique individual when it comes to those things because I kind of get blinkers and I forget what attraction
Yeah.
actually is. And
Blinders.
yes, I get blinkers. I really, really have that with my partner. I just have these blinkers.
What, you mean blinders?
Is that what I mean to say?
I think so.
Yeah, probably. That's what I'm trying to
Blinkers
say.
are just like if you're turning left or right on your car.
Is that an American thing? Okay, maybe I've got it
Sure.
wrong. I've got it wrong. Blinders, that's what it is. So I kind of just don't know. Like I personally, I don't have that kind of open attraction, but I'm very aware that most people do. But I also think it's usually more likely to happen when you're not physically attracted to your partner. I think that's what it really stems from. I think when you are genuinely attracted to your partner and you don't feel like you've settled and you don't feel like you've just got, been taken what you're given, I think what happens is there's a natural kind of dim light on everybody else because you're somewhat content. But when you're not truly attracted to your partner, I think we have a heightened reaction to those around us. I also think it comes from our own insecurity. When you are not used to receiving a lot of attention and praise, and you're not used to receiving attention from the opposite gender, you can get very easily attracted to others. You can get super hyper vigilant to other people and their validation. But when you've gone through life where you receive that all the time, you realize that an attractive person is no more valuable than an unattractive person deep down. Yeah, it's not really the end of the world if somebody's beautiful. It's not worth jeopardizing your entire life over. So I think it's normal, but I do think you should limit it. I think the key thing to do when you are attracted or you do meet somebody that you're super attracted to is to limit your interaction. Police yourself. I know that sounds a little bit like, a bit constrictive, but if you've got an underlying attraction and then you're going to the next steps, it's not going to be healthy for your relationship. The better thing to do is recognize I'm attracted to somebody new. It happens, no worries. But because I'm attracted to somebody new, I'm going to limit my emotional investment with them. I'm going to limit my access to them because I know there's an underlying attraction. What do you think? Do you think it's normal to be attracted to new people?
I think there's many different layers of it. There's the physical attraction,
Yeah.
which might fluctuate in a long-term partnership,
Yeah.
especially we're all going to turn into ball bags eventually.
Absolutely, I'm already there. So.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
That's definitely not true. What I find attractive is of course the physical beauty, but even deeper than that is someone's presence, how somebody's values, their creativity, their maternal nature, how loving and kind their heart is. And I think that in partnership, the physical attraction may fluctuate, but as long as those are there and those are present, and hopefully they continue to bloom as somebody
Yeah.
grows and matures as an individual, so too do those qualities of compassion and empathy and perspective and self-awareness, like a lot of those things would grow too, then it takes the pull, the magnetism, the fantasy of the grass being greener on the other side, that kind of diminishes. And at the same time, I think that there's a natural process, and I know a lot of men struggle with this, and this kind of understanding of like what it means to really commit to somebody and the investment of building a family and not having sex with someone else for the rest of your life, other
Yeah, it
people with the
sounds
rest of your life.
scary to them.
It
Yeah.
can, for sure,
Yeah.
understandably. But at the same time, you can also like look at attraction or have an appreciation of beauty without obviously one needing to take any action on it.
Yeah.
But then two, come into different relationship with how we navigate that awakening of like life force energy when we see something that is beautiful. The natural response of any organism is like a sense of awe, a sense of wanting to be drawn towards it. But I think as we grow and mature as individuals, what we find attractive changes. And to be honest, I could meet somebody who is like a beautiful supermodel externally, and if they're really disconnected from themselves, if they have all this unresolved stuff and shadow material, I just don't find them attractive. Like they can be hot, but they're not beautiful in that way,
Yeah. And I think what really helps is trying to desexualize the opposite gender. I think it's really important to have friendships, platonic relationships with the opposite gender, because it desexualizes them. When the more time you spend with females and males and you realize that they're flawed like everybody else, they're a bit boring like everybody else, they can be